Hello, hello. This is a message for Pisces feminines. So feminines that identify themselves as a woman, okay? Or that you are primarily in your feminine energy. And this can be any Pisces identification that you have, no matter what your system is that you use or how you connect to the energy of Pisces. If you've been guided to this video or you feel called to watch it, it's for you. There are no accidents, and it'll pick up on your energy here in this reading space, okay? So a few things in the pre-meditation, hello and welcome, a few things in the pre-meditation I was getting for you, where you know who you are, you've never given it away, not truly. You might have bent the knee or pretended or acted, but you never truly submitted or gave your power away. There's like this reminder about that, about you always kind of knowing somewhere inside of you who you are, even if you can get swept up in the play or in the act of things, and also having the power to perceive that, okay? To remember and to perceive that you always are being true to yourself, or remembering who you are in some way by not giving that energy and power away. Something else that was coming through is your ability to connect with all energies that come into your reality, good, bad, neutral, doesn't matter how they're deemed, and to find the benefit of them by understanding them. So this can be something like physical ailments, obstacles, hard situations, challenges, more underworld energies, shadows, and then it could also extend, of course, to positive things, but you are able to communicate with or convene with those energies and understand the benefit, the purpose, the message, the reason, or even be empathetic towards them, even if they are not even like what you would consider sentient, and they're just, they're sort of like objects, you know, or things. You're able to hear the voice in them. You're able to hear the reason in them, okay? So for my Pisces feminines watching, you could be going through this energy of detachment right now while you are learning some of the greater secrets, or rather remembering some of the greater secrets and mysteries of the universe, of your universe, once more or again. Let's go ahead and get a current read on you. Why are we called here today? I've been hearing a call towards your reading for a couple of days now, so let's go ahead and see why we're being called here for you. Why are we being called here for you, Pisces watching, Pisces feminine watching? Ooh. Sometimes you are a mystery unto yourself, all right? And there are some things that no matter how much the world tells you, other perspectives, it won't feel natural for you. You know, you won't be able to force yourself to feel natural. So here you are in this mastership energy with the Three of Pentacles, okay? This could be reducing, limiting, minimalizing your space, what you have, what you're doing, what you're focused on, to actually come out of the comfort zone. So less is more vibes. I am getting some inner conflict with you. This could have been going on for a while, but again, you're able to utilize it to your benefit. I'm hearing godsend, a godsend. I do get this sensation of conflict with being everybody's therapist, or being that emotionally mature person who's always having to search, seek, lay the boundaries, put down the rules, you know, whatever that is for you. I do feel like there's a little bit of a conflict with having to do this. Maybe you are able to support your needs in some way by doing this, and that's why you hold on to it a little bit. But less and less do you want to be there. More and more, I feel you moving into a space of like, focus solely on your calling, focus solely on your soul calling, Focus solely on what feels right for you, on the magic, on the mastery, on the truth, on your purpose in a sense, and less on like, I'm going to settle for this because it will provide me some kind of stability that I need right now. You're not about that. You're not about that comfort zone either. That's not a natural place for you. I also feel you've been told to be less giving, and that's simply impossible for you sometimes. Let me just get a little bit more about where Pisces is at with their energy, for who is watching. I feel like you're worried that you're not in the right place. Here's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of external influences and messages and informations that sometimes make you question and doubt yourself. You are spongy. You're very wise. We know this, very smart, but you are spongy in a way that you sometimes soak it all up. And you think it's all well-intended and honest. And in this way, you sort of start to go back into the working on yourself, fixing yourself. Maybe I'm, like looking at yourself through the lens of misunderstanding. So it's like you're misunderstood. And then you try to fit these lenses of others onto self as if it's for you because you can relate, and you misunderstand yourself. I feel if you're feeling misunderstood in your current reality, there is a part of you, an aspect of you or many that are misunderstanding itself, that is misunderstanding itself right now, or you are not understanding you right now. Okay, there could be some questions coming back up about, around religion or around what is the truth, what is not. You could be feeling a little paranoid here. We've got delusions with the Seven of Cups, but I really feel this delusion energy is more like a lens that's put on a process that is actually extremely healthy for you. The process might not be healthy for others, but for you, because it's true to you, it is healthy and it is important. Now, balance is reminded here because balance is also healthy, but your version of balance and how balance looks for you is different than how balance looks for everybody else or everybody. It varies, Some people are on one rhythm, some on another, you're on another. We're on a different rhythm here. I feel that your emotional instabilities and confusions sometimes make you feel doubtful, suspicious, uncertain, and a little bit it's a perfectionism thing. Like you feel there's a part of you that seems to feel if it's not perfect, it's somehow doubts, it's wrong, it's led astray, it's somehow something isn't right, There's all of this stuff here. Now, that being said, your overall energy is still in the middle, learning with eyes open in the middle between the two opposite forces, peace and anger, love and hate even. You're finding your power in this, okay? Self-assurance and stress, receiving and putting out. Like you're finding your road that is absolutely yours, your world that is absolutely yours, and it's very powerful. It's very important for you to have emotional boundaries. If you feel called to call in any kind of support for that, please do. If it's angels, if it's a guardian, a guide, if it's your own energy, okay? If it's just visualization of light, if it's sound therapy, whatever, you need to have some emotional boundaries when it comes to the information coming in. And I think you know this. I think you've been good with this. So just take it as encouragement to continue on. You know what feels right for you, and you're pretty good at listening to that. All right. I also feel comparison is not a good thing right now for you, unless you're utilizing it as a prosperous or healthy tool. You do not need to be comparing yourself to anybody else right now. It puts you in a lower vibration. You need to appreciate you as you are. your only comparison is yourself, all right? I feel like the moment you acknowledge that everything is working for you, whether it's extra weight, an ailment, something that you are fluctuating with, dealing with, some kind of a phase you're in, something that feels unmovable, whatever it might be, when you really acknowledge that it's working for you, it's there for you, to help you, to support you, it's your body and your spirit and your mind's way of loving you, of giving you extra. When you really realize that and connect with that, it relieves so much tension. Okay. All right. Let's get a little bit more from this deck of why we're here right now, why we're gathered here today. Pisces feminine, why are we gathered here today or tonight? Whoever you're watching this, please and thank you. You guys can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries as well. Pisces, your energy. What's going on? Why are we here? You are moving into a world, and I feel like you've been making this transition for a while, where you're moving into a world that supports your peace rather than you having to hide to find peace. You've been making this transition for a time. For some of you, this could look like foreign. You know, going across the waters, foreign movement, relocation, travel, something like this, but working with foreigners. But for others, this is just a sensation of mental peace. Having a life that supports constant healing rather than having to hide away to find healing from the life. Okay? That's the kind of paradigm or world view energy that I feel you moving into, coming into. It looks like your heart is being renewed here as well. You're being reminded of a lighter times, maybe your childhood self or your inner child self. You're being reminded of this, which is offering you creative healing and heart chakra healing here. You're tuning into the good-natured part of you. Even if you are also tuning into, you know, the darker or to other things, I feel like you are surrendering to like your own goodness, however you define that. And you're doing it in a very real way. And you had to collect to do this. Definitely a lot more peace here. You could be doing something new with your energy or your hands or healing. There could be some kind of metaphysical, even supernatural or even medicinal dance, something like this you could be called to as well. You are getting callings, if not now, then very soon. Again, I want to reiterate the importance of emotional boundaries here, not sinking in. And you know this, like I feel like you really know this already, but this is just that reminder of not sinking in to everything. You can't be along for the ride for everything. You just can't. You can observe from third person perspective here, but you can't get involved in everything. It's too exhausting. You can't feel for everyone and everything, every up and down, you know? You just have to stay in your center. And that's where you thrive and shine the best. Whatever you put your heart and creativity into is manifesting luxury for you. Even if it's in the beginning stages, I feel that it manifests that luxurious, grounded, supportive energy for you when you combine the heart and creativity. It really radiates and it really shows. And not trying to fit into your life anymore, but allowing your life to take the shape of you. Allowing it to take the shape of you. What else is here for Pisces feminine? Please and thank you. What's coming up for you? Bit disconnected from the moon right now, though this could also talk about a lot of things being revealed. Sometimes you just check out because it's too much, of course. It goes without saying. So you could be sort of on one side of the spectrum versus the other right now, or you could really go back and forth here. I feel the key to any kind of balance that you might need to find or be looking for is compassion for yourself. Compassion for yourself, for all parts and aspects of you. Again, whether it's an ailment, something you don't like on your physical body, something you think is wrong with you, mind, emotional, some kind of guilt you're harboring, holding, compassion for yourself. This is very strengthening. This is not about excuses. It's not about not taking responsibility. I'm seeing hamburgers here. The heck, like McDonald's or Burger King. It's not about, being dismissive. It's really about understanding that your body loves you, your mind loves you, your heart, your soul, they love you so much. It's all you and it all loves you. And it's for you. If something is happening, it's for you. It's to try to help you. It's to try to compensate. It's to try to provide or support more. And really giving yourself that compassion is important. If there's past events coming up right now, things you're out of touch with, guilt, things like that, a light is being shown on it for a good reason. You don't have to sink into the emotions of it, but acknowledgement is important. That's the vibe here. Something is moving forwards really fast for you. This could literally be some inspiration. I feel for most of you, it's your manifestation or manifestations. You see how she's becoming more and more solid, and she's under this orange sun. So it could be something creative, but it's like a version of you as well that is becoming more and more solid. For some of you, there's going to be a shift with your physical appearance for the better in your own eyes. But first, it's like love and accept and honor self now for the ways it is helping you. No, it might not be the way you want it to be at this moment, but how is it helping and benefiting you? Okay? This is not about being complacent or rolling over and accepting what you don't want to. We also have the fight in us, right? But this is definitely allowing things to be seen, to work their magic, to run their course so that we can move into all that we are hoping to move into. It's very mirrored, right? It's like the energy you put on it is the energy you carry, not the thing itself. So if you're putting all this tension and resentment and self-loathing or hatred or defeat or despair into it, those emotions and interpretations are actually the weight that you're carrying, not the thing you're judging itself, or not the thing that you're labeling that yourself, that itself. That's not actually what you're carrying. You're carrying all the projections tied to it. The weight is all the projections that you are tying to that thing. That's really what's being carried. So when we release that through understanding and compassion for ourselves, even through listening and realizing the benefit, we aren't carrying the weight of it anymore and the tension of it anymore, and we're in flow. Especially when we do it without the goal of like, I need to change this, fix this, and we do it instead to just sit and be with and connect with, because it's in the nature. I am seeing you've got repeated here the 9 of Wands energy, which is feeling very guarded, not feeling trusting. It's also healing, but it's like trauma has left a wound of not trusting. And I do feel that this could manifest as some kind of a block in the sacral chakra. So whether that's with sexuality, sensuality, with how you feel good about your body or not, or your self-image or not, how you create, how creative you are, wherever that block could manifest, or that spot that's, hurting could manifest, you're being given the space, the life to have the room to flow and to work with this healing. I'm getting a really strong sacral chakra thing here. You could have very painful, if you menstruate, you could have very painful menstruation. There's a lot with your ancestors with this. I feel like the big message in this, whatever it is for you, has a lot to do with the ego warping and twisting psychologically, like what the ego is and like the world views. I feel like that's also why this message is based for feminines, because there's a lot coming up about masculine view on the ego and then feminine view on the ego, and how actually it's quite different. So this looks to me like your ancestors and you not being able to fully step into or realize their potential, how magical and unique and incredible and mystical and superb and freaking one of a kind, like special, spectacular, divine, royal. Like, it's like not being allowed to be special, not allowing yourself to feel special because it's been labeled bad or we've had to suppress it. There's a real connection with this sacral thing and allowing ourselves to be special, allowing the self to be powerful. Also, it's not in, like, you could be suppressing accomplishments or even spiritual accomplishments because of fear of it being egotistical, you know, but like walking through hell and being able to command, with respect, of course, but being able to speak with and sort of command the underworld is like a big deal. And I know it feels good for you. Whatever your particular, it doesn't just have to be about, you know, walking through the depths like this, but it's like whatever your thing is, it feels good, so good for you to actually admit that you're amazing and that you have this and that this is like, you are badass. Like, you almost need to be hyped up because you will fall so quickly into everything that tells you you're delusional, for example. It reminds me of a character in the show, the OA, Renata, in the second season. Spoiler if you haven't seen that show, but she doesn't believe what they went through. She's told that it's just a delusion. So she no longer believes in herself, in her history, in her experience, in her identity. And I feel there's a lot of parts of the world that have echoed that to you. That's ancestral. You're not the first in your line, but it's not all of your ancestors either, because you are truly unique among one among many. And this is like something, it's not a superiority thing. It's not like a supremacy thing. It's very much like you have gone far on the journey and you've earned the right to these gifts, to these parts and aspects of yourself. And others will also, at some point, reach points on this journey. It's sort of like if you became an expert in a certain field and then had to pretend you weren't an expert to because you're worried you're being too ego whatever by acknowledging that you know a lot about science or in a certain area, astrophysics, like maybe you know so much about it, but you have to like pretend like you don't so everybody else can feel better about themselves, or you're told, no, you don't know a lot about that, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess it's right, I don't know, I never did study for the last 20 years of my life this and work this. It's like, and I just convinced myself, and I really didn't know what I was doing. It was all like, it's like the delusion is actually you thinking you're delusional, and the world telling you somehow that you're wrong or that you are for this. Like, you're getting too caught somehow in, or you had been, you know, getting so caught in this. So, okay. So for this sacral chakra, it's very important for you to do what it is that you do so you can remember and acknowledge how badass and special you are inside yourself. And bring that back up and acknowledge it. You don't have to shout it out to the world. If you don't want to, fine. But for yourself. Okay? And boundaries. We need boundaries right now. We really need boundaries right now. In every way. In every way. It feels good. If you feel it, you know it, because it feels good for you to hear this. Like, you need to guard yourself, your mind, your energy, your body, because you are sacred. You need to be your own security right now, your own security guard, your own management, your own walls and boundaries. Put a light bubble around you, whatever you need to do, but you really need to treat yourself almost like a VIP in a way. Yeah. You are definitely crossing a bridge here, and you've got a lot of anxiety about this, stress about this. You could be sleeping or resting extra, or even having troubled dreams, but I feel like it's because you doubt the path a bit, because you're doubting yourself in the ways we've expressed, at least at times. Again, this insecurity, this stress is connected to your sacral chakra. Some of it is literally excess energy being allowed to permeate. Some of you are so afraid of your own power, your own shadow, your own power, and the power in your shadow, which essentially your shadow is all the stuff that's been pressed down. The stuff you're not allowed to express, or you don't feel you're allowed to claim or to be, that's been, titled as an inconvenience or wrong or bad or whatever by miserable outlooks. I'm hearing the voice of God has been pressed down in this timeline, and that is you. You represent this. So of course you're going to be misunderstood, and your voice is going to be pressed down. What else do you need to know? Pisces, feminine watching, anything else that you need to know? Slowly but surely, as far as money manifestations go, it's been slower than sure for you. Okay? I feel like it's been a long time coming. For some of you, wealth and luxury are the encouragement of like, keep going. You're doing amazing. You've got this. You're doing a good job. What you're doing is valid. And so you've been lacking the validation that wealth gives you. Of course, wealth also gives you that security and that support. And this won't be for everyone, okay? But it's like you've been lacking that validation. And that lack of validation, it's all tied in to your bigger journey. I feel like there's a simple or an easy fix for this. Yeah, boundaries for one. Again, when you implement those boundaries, you are saying, I validate myself and my needs just by implementing the boundaries alone. I choose myself first and what is right for me first. And it should not hurt somebody for you to honor yourself, I know not everything is black and white, but it should not hurt somebody else for you to honor what is healthy and good for you, right? Otherwise, we're kind of in more parasitic lack relationships and situations, at least for the most part. Now, some of this slowness with wealth as well, or opportunity, things that you want physically, is about deep, deep, deep grief that you are carrying in a situation with shared resources. And here it is coming up, surfacing. I hope somebody's still watching this, because this feels like your energy is surfacing to say, hey, here is the root, okay? And that's a big deal when we get to that point. There's deep grief in a shared situation. This could have been with your mom, daughter. It could have also been elsewhere, roommates, partnership, even work, whatever. But I feel like this is somebody you cohabited with or you shared a lot with. There was a negative or a deep, deep grief in a situation of giving and receiving here. This has created some serious, massive trust issues with receiving and giving, especially financially or materially. Especially if things were leveraged. A lot of feminine energy here as well. You always knew what a healthy system should be like, what it should look like. And compassion has always been at the heart of that for you. The word compassion is so big here for you. But the deep grief and loss you've experienced around this, I feel has really shut down and shut off some of your flow here. It's iced up some of your emotional receptivity and openness to shared situations, especially with feminine energy, which can be more significant than it seems at a logical level. This guilting, leveraging, maybe it was instability connected to giving and receiving. You know, whatever this deep grief is, it's like really hard for you to open back up. Yeah, a lot of emotional instability, which could have caused hyper independence for you. The amount of emotional instability you could have experienced, the swing back and forth, could have caused you to go hyper independent. And there's all these beautiful effects, you know, too. Like there's a lot of strength, peace, self-leadership, self-grounding. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. Maybe you've learned how to be extremely attractive, even extra. Like there's all these things that you have built from this, but then there's also the side effects on the opposite side, right? And all of your energy right now is kind of in getting into that balance, that middle. Pisces, this is getting really long, so I'm just going to grab a couple more messages or maybe just one more shuffle here. Some things are hidden right now from you. Your happiness could be barred right now from you a little bit. While changes are taking place, and these are predestined kind of changes, fated changes. Okay, I do feel luck is on your side. But it comes in the darkness, learning to remember how to work with the darkness, or learning to work with the darkness in some sense, in some aspect. Remembering that you are like a shadow whisperer. Remembering that you, again, find the light, if you want to call it that, in everything. You don't need to define happiness or success through the masculine form or the society's form or every other sign's form or a person's form. Again, it's back to the boundary thing. Like all this external stuff coming in tells you like, hey, this is happiness. This is what it looks like. All of this masculine energy, da, 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 da. I'm not saying that that can't be happiness, but this dark moon energy, this more feminine looking card here, if you see the masculine and feminine energy, this might look more like your happiness right now. There's different versions of herself. This is the moon and the lunar phases, okay? This is the wheel of fortune. It's a fortunate working with the energies type of energy, you know? It's very much different versions of you too, and being okay with that, being the actress on the stage of your life, you know, but knowing that you are this. It's also like moving with nature. This is like blood red water, you know. This is also red as root chakra. It's material success and it's water. So emotions very much connected to the material. You can harness this here somehow. Throat chakra too showing through, and third eye, but throat chakra. You can harness this energy. You can work with it. It's favoring you. It's lucky. There is not just one version of happiness or one form. It's not how it is. You can find it even in the uncertainty. I know that there's so much poetic about that, but I don't even know how to verbalize it to you. I just want you to feel it because you're all about vibes. So vibe it, feel it. I'm hearing what dreams may come. Maybe you also could do well to watch like movies or things that actually really inspire you to feel like yourself, to feel like you, to feel those best excitements and inspirations of you. Okay? Also, you have not failed. You have not failed in any way, shape, or form. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave you there for now. Thank you so much for listening. You're amazing. All the pleasure to connect with you. I really hope this gives you some help and benefit. Please take care of yourselves.